Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about a number of articles that are doing the rounds about how the arts, or the performing arts in particular, and this could be performing live music, as in orchestra type music, or it could be, or is rather, live theatre and putting on stage plays, things like that, but also going into the wider arts such as painting, art appreciation, all that sort of stuff. So everything under the wider umbrella, if you like, of the visual and performing arts. Now, the claim is in these articles that the entire arts sort of industry is facing bankruptcy. The claim is that the things like ticket sales, gate receipts, that sort of stuff, of these visual and performing arts, the ticket sales just aren't covering the cost of putting on these productions, even after you allow for an already quite generous taxpayer handout that goes to these outfits every year. So depending on whose numbers you look at, approximately 50 to 60% of the cost of running these performing arts, theatres and the like, is already paid for by the taxpayer with government handouts. Some of these incorporated theatre companies are also able to receive donations that are tax deductible. So it's again taxpayer funded indirectly, and then they can sell their tickets at the gate or at the front door to cover the rest of the cost. But even after that, they're claiming they're still falling well short. So ticket sales, if the numbers are to be believed, are covering somewhere in the order of 15 to 20% of the live performing arts, as in theatre, so stage plays. They cover about 40% of, give or take, 40% of things like, say, putting on, I don't know, one of Tchaikovsky's concertos or Mozart or something at the Opera House, and things like sort of specialist boutique type things like specialist lesbian art exhibitions and so on. It's not even covering a tiny proportion of that. So now the arts industry, which you'd think the answers are quite obvious here. If I look at any stage play or any theatre play that's being put on around Australia, it's just a straight out bash. It's an I hate Trump, I hate Nazis, everywhere, I hate white people are Hitler, and it's all that. So it's catering for a very small audience there. The people that the gay lesbian activist scene is all over the arts, of course, because there's no sort of independent or impartial measurement of are you doing well or doing it successfully or anything like that. So, and the heavy reliance on ideology to select the people, select the material to put the play on, the sort of people that are selected to write the scripts and do all the work and so on. Money's being handed out as a social equity issue, taxpayer money, rather than putting on a good play. But do these people accept that their 100th play of Orange Man Bad is we're fighting back against Nazis? That's what we're doing. Well, now, hey, hold on a minute. I mean, if you want to fight back against Nazis in your own time and your own money, but you're getting taxpayer money here. So you're obliged, I would argue, and I think most people would argue, you're obliged to use that money to entertain the audience. You represent all Australians here. You don't represent some little 1% subset of radical, screaming, ideologically captured activists. And that's what you are, but your job is to put on quality entertainment. And if you put on quality entertainment, people will buy the tickets. Now, I have seen plays in the past that have been financially successful, and they've managed to keep politics and ideology out of it. For example, there was a play put on about Dracula, and just doing a reduction on Bram Stoker's novel and that was done quite well, and it was very successful. There could be musicals like even rehashed ones from the 60s, like Jesus Christ Superstar, or more recent ones, say Cats, and the Andrew Lloyd Webber type musical extravaganzas. They're being done, and some of them do all right. But someone I know recently went to a Jesus Christ Superstar one, and the whole thing had been rejigged that everybody was either black, gay, or lesbian. Jesus was a homosexual, and he had a homosexual love scene in the theatre, and Mary Magdalene was a black lesbian, and the only bad person was Judas Iscariot, who treacherously sold out Jesus, and that was a straight white man, but everyone else. So now that play, that reimagining, as they call it, of Jesus Christ Superstar flopped horribly, and they lost a lot of money on it. But you could ask, well, why did you try and turn it into an ideological piece of propaganda? Why do that? That's not your mission. But they see it as it is. They see social engineering as their primary mission, and entertainment, comes a distant third. But then they complain, well, when we can't, people won't buy our tickets. They won't come and see these plays. Now, rather than change and make a play that people want to see, they just go the other way, and they say, well, look, the reason people aren't coming to watch these ideological, sort of fanatical propaganda pieces, the reason is because everybody's a Nazi, and if we can just stop everyone from being a Nazi, then we'll be fine. No. Doesn't matter. You are custodians of the taxpayers' money. It is then you are obliged to provide entertainment that people want to come and see. But that's not a view they take, and they refuse to take. And so as they're on the verge, as they claim, of bankruptcy, their argument is we just need more taxpayer money, and then more again, and more on top of that. Now, I've picked apart the numbers on one of the primary arts, performing arts businesses or companies, if you like. And this is probably at the more successful end. They do have, out of the 45 things they did last year, probably just shy of half actually did make money. So these guys are, in the overall scheme of things, doing quite well. Where are they falling over? Well, this is more to do with the music end of things. And they decided some years ago that all the people were straight white males that were there. So that no, we can't have that. We have to have half gay, gay lesbian. We have to have trans people. We have to have a black lesbian. So they decided to go full bore affirmative action, and so the quality declined, and fewer people come to watch it because it's lower quality. Even just listening, you can hear. And I'm not like I'm a Mozart level muso by any stretch, but I can hear the timing's out here. This is not good enough, and so it is a lower quality production. And they insist that the singer has to be a black lesbian, and on it goes. So now, in addition to that, they also have to have the conductor of the orchestra, and we've got the first black lesbian with one leg, and this they put forward as being some sort of great social engineering accomplishment. But it's not what people are paying to come and see. Now, so that's one thing. So they're losing heavily, but they see it as it's all those Nazis. Those Nazis won't come and see. They're all Hitler, and so that they just won't stick to the mission, which is providing entertainment. Stick to your mission, quality entertainment. That's all you need to do, and you will be successful. But they just can't bring themselves to do it. It's that the whole thing's been ideologically captured, and they think it's far more important to put black lesbians out front than it is to provide quality entertainment. This is their problem. But it even goes further than that. This outfit has some of their records and expenditures and indulgences are far more public than some of the theatre companies, where their finances are rather opaque by comparison. So you can have a look at that and say, well, why did this? And again, they're in receipt of large amounts of taxpayer money. why did they spend $40,000 to bring out to Australia a brown lesbian from some third world country who then does a nationwide tour talking about the evils, how lesbians get a raw deal in third world countries? Why would they do a travelling roadshow on that and spend $40,000 on it? And the list goes on of handouts to here and there, and how they've given a donation to the Black Lesbian Scriptwriters Association to enhance scriptwriter skills among Black lesbians, and so on. This type of stuff. So they're pissing money out the door on all these woke LGBTQ, trans, and whatever causes that are, again, prove that they're ideologically captured. Their payroll and the amount of number of people on the payroll has increased very substantially, and it's all in the area of woke. So they've got the special gay lesbian counsellors, they've got the transgender support and equality departments, and they've got all these people that are added on that have nothing to do with providing a quality product. So they bring in as many gay, lesbian, and black, and this and that, and brown as they can. They stuff them in non-meritoriously, and then they say, well, because we've got all these black lesbians here, we then have to have a special black lesbian administration department to support them, and just on it goes. So this wokeness and the cost of the wokeness snowballs at all, but it adds nothing. There is no value it adds. It creates this illusion in their fevered, ideologically captured minds. It creates this illusion of equity, but the reality is it's degrading the quality of the product that people are paying, or would be prepared if it had quality, that people are prepared to pay. So they administer death to themselves by self-administered death by 1,000 cuts. And then as the product quality declines, fewer and fewer people come, they make less money, but they stick doggedly, and with ideological fanaticism, they stick doggedly to giving this gifts of money and handouts and donations to all these social justice causes, making their financial situation even worse. And then they go screaming to the government to say, oh, we need lots more taxpayer money and lots more handouts and lots more giveaways. Now, the government, for their part, and maybe they're doing it quietly behind the scenes, but the government, for their part, isn't demanding financial accountability. Isn't demanding, no, you're getting the taxpayer money. You will provide objective, non-ideological quality, and that's it. That's what you will do. This is not a debate or a discussion, or please would you? You will do it. That's the condition if you're getting taxpayer money. And if the taxpayer money was withdrawn, which I believe it should be for the ideologically captured groups, they would all collapse overnight, which proves yet again that woke has no market. There is no modern audience. There is no audience out there that these people, the ideologically captured ones, are trying. There is no audience for that. Nobody wants it, or the tiny proportion that do. But that's not going to pay your bills. Okay, you have to produce entertainment. That's your mission, to produce entertainment, for fuck's sake, that people want to pay for, and then you'll be fine. You won't have a problem, but you have to do it. And this is something that the government must and should insist on. But these ideologically captured groups see this as an outrage if they're prevented, limited, or unable, for financial reasons, unable to pump out their insane, hysterical, ridiculous propaganda. Then they see that as they're the victims then of great fascist Nazi evil, and they refuse to be accountable to reality. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.